handsome guys.
Is that something you ever get used to?
Oh yeah. Makes perfect sense to me.
So I think we should give another round of applause because Misha agreed to come here, what was it, 2 days ago? Something like that.
I have to say, I think that's the first time for me, maybe the first time ever, that anyone's been applauded for making last-minute decisions. I'm not sure why that's commendable, but thank you for applauding nonetheless.
I think Edmonton and Alberta in general has been very starved for a supernatural presence. So we're pretty happy.
Evidently, it looks like playing hard to get has really paid off.
So how are you enjoying the convention so far?
I'm not liking it at all. How are you?
Terrible. Worst experience of my life. Miserable.
Everybody keeps asking me, so what do you think of Edmonton? Well, so far I've just seen the inside of this building. And I think it's great. I didn't realize that Edmonton it's actually big. So you look on the map and it's like, it's this little thing in the middle of nowhere. No offense, but I mean, you wouldn't expect that. So, someone just told me, you tell me if this is true, 1.1 million humans. Wow. That's bigger than Boston, I think, is 900,000. For me, Boston is a big city. Evidently it's not, because you're like, where's Boston? I've never heard of it. I don't know why I'm talking about demographics, but...
So, you seem like a pretty fun-loving guy.
Not true.
Cass is kind of serious.
Yes.
Yes, he's pretty serious. Do you guys, do you play tricks on each other at the show? Do you guys get up to any hijinks or mischief?
I know it's
I actually, so when you're a sort of big, famous actor on a show, you get certain preferential treatments. Like you get to park your car kind of like right up against the stages, and where everybody else has to take a shuttle to come in and get all of these perks of the job. But I park my car several blocks away from where we're shooting every time, because if I park it anywhere near the studio, my tires are going to be flat. The transportation guys were like, Misha, I just saw your car, man, it's really filthy. Why don't you give me the keys, I'll bring it over here and wash it. And I was like, oh, thanks a lot, because I haven't had time to wash my car. So he takes the keys, brings my car over there, over to the stages, and I drive away, and the roof rack slides off. Because Jared had unscrewed. Which frankly, I had to sit him down and say, look, shithead, I've fallen through somebody's windshield. Like, that's not a great idea. And he agreed it wasn't a great idea, but didn't care. Yeah, there's a lot of hijinks. We are childish, and we're trying to counsel one another into behaving more like adults, because it's kind of getting ridiculous. We all got into, Jared Jensen and I got into a wrestling match recently, which, if you're me in that equation, that's really stupid. Because they're huge compared to me. I did very well, but I was unable to pick up my child for about 2 weeks. So it was a little embarrassing. Still funny, but yes, no, anyway, so the question, I don't know what the question was, but I have a tendency to, one of the marks, I think, of a mature and seasoned actor is that they are able to not laugh during the scene. They stay in the scene, they stay in character, they don't break. I laugh at every opportunity while we're shooting, and it drives directors up the wall. And Jared particularly likes to harass me while we're shooting the scene because he knows how easy it is to get me to break. And when a director, because directors are kind of like guest stars on the show usually, they're not there all the time. It's a new guy each week, and the directors get really frustrated, and they're like, just try to do it without and all they see is the monitor with just me laughing. They don't see what Jared's doing to me. So you hear this exasperated, Misha, can you just, and you know, there's a broom handle in my balls or whatever. And I feel like that's not fair. It's not my fault that this is happening. But I just can't keep a straight face. And so there have been several instances where the final cut, what actually makes it to air, is like, Castiel, with a little smirk on his face, you know? It's totally inappropriate because they just simply couldn't get the shot. And I, as often as possible, ask Jared and Jensen to leave the stages when shooting my coverage. So I'll be doing a scene with Jared, usually, and say, Jared, can you please go to your trailer? And talk to the prop girl instead of to Jared for showing his lines, because it's easier for me to act off that. I'll keep talking if you want me to.
Does it ever hurt your throat, like when you go into your Castiel voice? It does actually?
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
Oh.
I actually do literally get a sore throat. I thought that I was going to be doing, you know, a couple of episodes. In the first episode on Supernatural, when my character appears, he's trying to talk to Dean. I don't know if you guys have seen the show, but he's trying to talk to this other character, Dean, and when he tries to communicate with him, windows are breaking and television sets are exploding. And so I thought, oh, well, he should have like a really gravelly, rough voice when he takes on a human body. And I thought, whatever, I'll just do this weird voice for a couple of episodes and then go back home. And then I never got to go home. I've been doing that voice for 5 years, and it actually, I think it's causing some permanent damage. I might have, maybe I'll get workers' comp or something. It's not a bad idea.
So when did it become apparent that Castiel was going to be not only a regular, but integral to the story arc?
I mean, I think probably when we started shooting the first scene.
About 30 seconds in.
About 30 seconds.
We knew it.
Actually, no, the first take we did of the scene, the director, Kim Manners, who's also a producer on the show, who's passed away since, but he was sort of like the godfather of the series. And he came up to me and said, let's do that again. Try not to, I don't know what you're doing, but try not to act so spooky. And so I don't know what I brought to it in the beginning, but apparently it was awful. And I could tell by his expression, like, we're not going to be keeping you around very long. Anyway, I am still around, so.
And we were chatting earlier about the story arc and where Supernatural's gone and everything, and we were talking about theological accuracy in the show. And it was very interesting what the writers do in order to add to the show and the overall accuracy of it according to Christianity and biblical thought and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's they're telling a story actually to millions of people around the world, and I think that the writers feel like they have a certain responsibility to have a bit of integrity to reality. So nothing that makes it to the screen in Supernatural is something that you can't Google. That's their litmus test. That's the bar that they're held up to. So you can pretty much be guaranteed that whatever you see on Supernatural is true.
Yeah. We don't do that, right? So I know that you guys probably have a lot of questions. Is there anybody who has something they would like to ask, would like to say? Don't be shy. So
No,
we have some
okay,
mic
great.
runners. We do have mic runner. There's a lady in a beautiful pink shirt right at the back there.
And there's another one with pink hair. Pink shirt? Pink shirt?
I can yell.
Great.
Not a problem. I guess more of my questions is on the Supernatural. Will be more, can you give us a hint? Is there any Gish Wish items I might be able to get at the expo this week?
Oh, my friend. That would presuppose, so if many of you don't know, but I do this weird scavenger hunt thing. No. And I guess when you have done it more than once and are doing it a second time, you can use the imperfective form of the verb to do. I do this scavenger hunt thing, right? Is that what I'm talking about? I don't know. I know, grammarian. Yeah, we do it. It happens. Annually, at least for 2 years. And it's a scavenger hunt where people from all over the world participate in, what do they do?
Well, I know I traumatized my son by covering him in dog hair last year.
There you go. That was one of the items last year. One of the items last year was someone covered completely in pet hair with only their eyes visible, right? And I didn't know what was going to come of this. I literally, as I was flipping through the pictures, was just, my stomach hurt from laughing. There was something so horrible and hilarious about it. It is the most disgusting thing you've ever seen. Did you go to a local pet shearing store or something?
I did get a couple of groomers, got bags of things.
The amount of pet dander and fleas. And I mean, you have to imagine people live on a farm. They take their dog into the groomer after it's been rolling around in cow shit. And now you're bundling your son up in this mat of disgusting feces encased hair. It was hilarious to look at. There were some images, I don't know, there's this one image that just sticks in my head of someone completely covered in pet hair, like all you can see are the eyes, and the hair is this thick. It's like this thick, and it's different colors, like the patches. You can tell, like, there's where a poodle was groomed, and that's a German Shepherd. It's just disgusting. And they're curled up against the wall in the fetal position. It was amazing. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying I procrastinated, and I haven't even started the list yet. So I better get on, because I think there's like 13,000 people who are. I would be really bad if I'm so sorry, guys, I didn't get around to making a list, but have a great week. I mean, I could try. I could just cheat and make something for you guys, but that would be terrible.
Do it!
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because I don't know why. Because I can't think of anything. But if anyone hasn't signed up and you want to, you have about 3 hours left before registration closes.
Yeah, just up there. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I want to thank you for bringing me up on stage at Vancom for vandalizing the posters.
Anytime. Yeah. You did a great job, by the way.
Yep. And I was just wondering if you've named your daughter yet.
Great question. I have. Yep.
Can you share?
Oh, yes. I don't know why it was a difficult decision to make, and now I've been signing autographs, and people keep telling me the names. I'm like, oh man, I should have gone with that one. Mason, but it's spelled the French house, Maison, but it's pronounced Mason. Confusing? So M-A-I-S-O-N, and middle name Marie. So Mason.
Very cute.
Thank you.